Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Aloha Press Show. This is Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Aloha Press Show. My name is JC out here in Atlanta, Georgia, joining my rated R conservative co-host, Jeff, out in sunny California. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, it's kind of weird to do this show when it's still light outside since we moved it up a couple hours this week. So it's not it's a little warmer. You can see I don't have to be in a sweatshirt. I can actually just wear the long sleeve and call it good. A couple cigars and some whiskey, and I'm good to go.
It's a perfect dose for a great show. I know last week we occasionally we had the whiskey flowing, and you could kind of tell because the sauce, some of the cuss words were rather we were ripping. It was I thought it was funny, but I enjoyed it.
Hey, we get a little loose in our conversations when we drink this stuff, but it's okay. It's needed. It's necessary. It's what makes us different.
We're definitely different. We're definitely not the same show, same golf show that you listen to day in and day out. This is a big week, Jeff. This is the week one of the Sony Open. I mean, out in Hawaii again. I mean, week two. I mean, I don't know how to get pumped up for this week because it's funny how at the start of the year, the Century Tournament of Champions, it's one of those events that I put on my calendar and I look forward to watching. The Sony is just not that. I mean, besides the great views, it's in Hawaii. I mean, for me, it's going to be late night television, which is cool. I mean, does it have the same clout as the Century Tournament of Champions or the Century Tournament of Participation Trophies?
Well, not at all. And, it's a quick little prop plane ride over to Honolulu for these guys. But it does nothing for me. These guys get to stay on vacation, hang out in Hawaii a little bit more. It's got a pretty good field. I mean, not the best field in the world. It's got a pretty good field. In all honesty, hey, they're already playing Masters commercials. They're already getting us ready for April. We're going to have the Hawaii swing, the West Coast swing, all these things before then. Here's the thing. I looked, I picked a winner. I hope he beats your guy. That's all about I'm looking forward to this week.
It's so Adam Scott earlier this week made some comments about there's only like 10 or 12 events that PGA Tour guys actually care about. And I kind of want to propose this to you, Jeff, but we cover the golf at week in and week out. We produce 2 shows a week, the golf email newsletter, the golf terms, all the nonsense and stuff. But the thing that intrigued me by Adam Scott's statements was he's kind of right. I mean, fuck, like the COVID thing, I mean, I don't want to say it was a good thing, but fuck, it was a good thing in the sense of like golf taking a fucking break and only highlighting some of the the bigger events. And here we are, the Sony, we got defending champion Cameron Smith from the local Aussie, but I'm a fan of him. And I watched the highlights from last year because I could not remember what the fuck happened just because it wasn't that impactful. But it actually came down to a cool playoff with Brendan Todd. Cameron Smith kind of shanked it in the trees and got up and down for a par, and Brendan Todd fucking bogeyed from about 65 yards out in the fairway.
No, you do like Cameron Smith. I think that's his name, right? He's your boy. Hey, we're gonna watch it. We're gonna make our picks. But going back to what Adam Scott said, 10 to 12 tournaments a year, he's right. Sometimes more is not better. We don't need 30, 40 tournaments a year. We really don't. And you're not going to get the fields in those tournaments. He kind of alluded to the fact that he'd like to see more gimmicky type events, these 2-mans or these for charity things, which, hey, that's fine. If you can make it entertaining, I'm all for it. I know the PGA Tour is not going to cut back because they need the sponsors. They need that money that comes in from the week to week. But Adam Scott's 100% right. Like the top name, the top maybe 30, 40 guys, they're paying attention to the big tournaments, the ones that make money, the one that get viewership, and the ones that matter to win, right? They're not looking forward to the old Sanderson Farms Chicken Open.
Yeah, so we got the Sony Open this week. It's a little bit shorter course out in Waialae Country Club out in Honolulu. It's going to be presented by the Golf Channel again, another Thursday through Sunday edition, which is going to be challenging because it's the 3-hour coverage blocks just kind of fuck me up when they don't have the PGA Tour live. They don't have some of the extra features. And it's kind of tough to get into the round of golf when half the fucking tournament is over. And like last week, Joaquin Niemann was literally, I only saw like 6 holes of them because fuck, his round was majority over by the time the television coverage was even on.
Well, for you, it doesn't start till 6 o'clock. For me, it starts at 3 o'clock here on the West Coast. And by that time, I've started my day. I've got shit going on. I'm either at work. It's not prime time to watch golf. I like watching golf in the morning. Give me a 10, 11 o'clock start, coffee, maybe have a little snack during it. It's tough to watch. That's probably why I didn't watch so much of the Century Tournament of participants, because I didn't have the time. I'm not watching it during dinner time. It's not happening.
I'm going to disagree with you. I like the nighttime. I'm also watching it in my PJs, and we'd already had dinner, and it's quiet time. But yeah. So I mean, let's get into the tournament. I mean, it seems like it's a limited amount of guys. I mean, it's a big field. It's a normal size field, but the big names just aren't there. I mean, the guys who participated, like the Brysons, Dustin Johnson, these guys are not. And I'm assuming Justin Thomas isn't going to be there. I'm assuming he's going to be apologizing to some large group of people in California. I don't know if I should have said that. But
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's good. It's I didn't say the F word like JT did. So who do we got this week? I mean, it's not the greatest field in the world, but I mean, Jeff, we need your pick. But more importantly, this is week 1 of a full field event, and it seems like you and I might want to make a year-long bet, maybe tallying up some things. I mean, I'm intrigued to hear your plans for our weekly wager, because last week's weekly wager had $0 on it, 0 bottles of booze, and kind of lacked the energy between you and I.
Well, and that was kind of unlike us last week, but we didn't like the tournament. You're not going to invite non-winners to a winners tournament. So we picked a winner, but we didn't really care. I lost sleep over this, though, for this week, because I wanted to come up with something for me and you that, one, is a year-long event, since we can't play Race to the Bottle anymore, and 2, has something on the line every week as well. So from now on, JC and I are going to throw $10 in the pot every week until we pick an actual winner, which we had one last year. So that tells you I would have made a lot of money. So we're going to throw $10 in every week for the pot for the winner. But we're also going to play for a bottle each week, whether it's wine, booze, maybe even a fucking big old growler of beer. I don't know. We're going to play for a bottle, for our guys beating each other. So this is the week 1. We're going to start it right here. The Sony Open in Honolulu, Hawaii. I'm going with a guy who I probably never picked in my life. I don't think I'd ever pick him, but I am going to. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm going with fucking the no name, no stitch, no clothing guy, fucking Patrick Reed.
Oh, the other F bomber back in 2014. I mean, king of the F words. I mean, the guy who Patrick Reed, holy shit. 16-1 via CBS's odds, which is probably kind of fucked up. But yeah, Pete Reed, I mean, shit, wow, good for you. He played okay. I don't even know how to respond. Jeff, are you sure? I mean, fuck, I mean, golf is an interesting place. I mean, he's in his hotel room, and this is unconfirmed, but he's in his hotel room with iron-on labels, ironing on fucking shit onto G4's gear. And then G4 announces, like, yeah, we don't pay him to wear our gear. Like, he had to go online, buy it, have it shipped to his hotel, and then I'm assuming him and Janine, his wife, are ironing on fucking the logos. And then Titleist comes out and goes, yeah, we're not paying him for a hat deal either. So on top of his clothing and his hat, he doesn't have a deal. What, Jeff? I mean, if anyone needs any more motivation, it's got to be Patrick Reed, right? I mean, especially this limited field.
Well, it's quite funny, actually, because here's the thing. The guy's a Masters champ. He's a majors winner, right? And then we're reading articles about him promoting other people's brands that he's not sponsored by, making it public, making it big news, essentially trying to get sponsored, right? And those brands come out and acknowledge that he's wearing it and say, "Thank you very much, Patrick, but you're still not going to be on our list for this year."
I
so,
just,
uh,
I just
does he
think
go
that,
the whole year like this? I mean, do we have to send him a fucking pair of trousers and maybe a fucking polo? I don't know.
I think the Aloha Press can afford him now. I mean, he's scratching at the bottom of the barrel. I think we're gonna have to stitch up some gear for Patrick Reed. We're gonna have to get it a little wider in the waist. But yeah, I like the pick. That's solid. You're going with a guy who has some recent success. I went with Colin Morikawa, who is 14-1, who played rather well in the week before. I'm not doing the dumb thing and picking the long shot. Old JC would have picked like Carlos Ortiz at 70-1, or
that's who I was gonna pick. So we were on the same page, but I said we can't do that anymore. It's not fun when you guys battling to make the cut, or towards the middle to the bottom of the leaderboard. It's just not fun.
No, it's not. And maybe we could have reached out and picked Brandt Snedeker, JT Poston, Russell Knox. I mean, some of these guys I've never even heard of. So looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun week in golf. And don't get me wrong, the Sony Open, if anything, the Golf Channel is just going to continue to give us some really unique Hawaii type content, a lot of whale watching, surfing. It's just going to utterly piss me off because it's just vacation mode for them. And I just want to go on vacation, Jeff. That's all I want to do, buddy.
Hey, I'm right there with you. And I know we've got something planned. I don't know how much you're going to give away, but I'm all about it. And I think there's a vacation in our future.
I think so. I think it's going to go to, maybe not anywhere near Hawaii, but somewhere maybe south, a little warmer. But before we get to that, another warm place on the Florida swing, the Honda Classic earlier today announced that the Bear Trap, Jack Nicklaus's tournament, one of Jack Nicklaus's tournaments, or Jack Nicklaus's design, is going to have fans, even though that they are raging with COVID and arthritis and glaucoma. They're going to continue with their golf tournament and have a limited amount of fans. Jeff, I mean, with everything going on in this world, I'm excited. I'm excited that Arizona's going to have fucking fans. I'm excited Honda Classic's coming out and saying we're having fans. Hell, I might drive down there and watch some fucking golf.
I'm all for it. Hey, here's the thing. It is Jack's tournament, right? And Jack's going to be there. But you know what? Jack's already had COVID and his wife, and they beat it. So they're not scared.
They're not
Bring on people. Bring on more people. Get us back to somewhat normal, right? The NFL this week, at least, you could kind of hear crowds cheering in the stands. And it's weird. It just makes for a whole different dynamic. And I'm all for it. I hope that it lasts. I hope that people don't start backing out. I hope some of the major championships do this.
I agree with you. I think if anyone needs to fucking take a page out of the playbook from the Waste Management this year, it's going to be Augusta National. But Jeff, I mean, this is part of the show where we kind of dive in, interact with some of our listeners, followers, some of our super fans. Jeff, I mean, let's do some listener questions. We haven't done it in a while. I mean, let's get a few done today.
All right, and you're right. We haven't done a few in a while, but I got a couple. I'm going to start with one here. Comes in from Sean out in Eugene, Oregon. Wants to know what's something you'd like to see at more golf courses in regards to practice facilities or practice areas.
I think the one thing they need to have at practice facilities is a couple things. Maybe a drop zone, somewhere like 60 yards away, maybe in front of a water hazard, maybe a fairway fucking bunker so I can practice some of those fucking shots. And then maybe, give me some red stakes. I can practice the drop zones in the fucking Bermuda rough where it buries into the fucking ground and I can fucking hit it out of. I mean, I don't know, plant a couple trees on the fucking actual flat ground and, make me hit some hooks, some low ones around some trees. I think that would be fucking unique. I mean, you might injure a few people, but bring the driving range to more practice. And I'm fucking kind of joking, but the more I talk, the more I'm selling myself on this. I never have a flat lie most of the time where I play golf, but I practice on a driving range where it's absolutely fucking perfect, beautiful flat lies every day. And I think some of the shots that I could absolutely shave off my fucking score is like fairway bunkers, the awkward chip shots over fucking water, and hitting out of the rough and around trees.
Well,
How about you,
well,
buddy?
you kind of just blew my mind with one of those, because the fairway bunker shot, whether it's from 60, 70 yards or 150 yards, that's one of the toughest shots in golf. And you're right. That's something you can never practice, no matter where you're at. Unless you're going to start dropping balls out on the golf course, you can't practice that. So that's very smart. Never thought of that. I don't know how you do it. Maybe start putting a couple bunkers around the driving range. I'm all for that. I started thinking about this question, and it's a pretty good question, especially since I practiced today. But I'm all for, you got to give us a legitimate chipping area. I mean, I don't need you to mow the driving range a little shorter and call it a chipping green, right? And put a bunker next to it, because the ball doesn't react the same. It doesn't roll out. I want somewhere like Monterey does a great job. Poppy Hills, those courses where you can chip. You got rough, you got, shortcut, and you can kind of play the shot. You got an elevated green, undulated green. Give me something that I can chip and work my wedges on, more than fucking putting or hitting on the range.
I agree with you. It's that's one of the things that Georgia actually does a good job of. You can chip and putt. They have like actual chipping greens that are not, they're not mowed exactly to like putting length, but they're not like just the fairway in as a fucking green. It's like more of a rougher version of a putting green. But then around the actual putting greens itself, you're allowed to fucking chip and pitch and hit flop shots and bunker shots, and it gives you a little bit more practical outcome. And yeah, I think those are, yeah, I agree with you. But the one question that I got out on social media from Oliver was, what's the one golf brand that you just absolutely cannot stand? Is there any particular brand or company out there that just rubs you the wrong way?
And I don't know why this is the brand that comes to the name or comes to mind for me. I've never used their stuff. I've never worn their stuff. I probably never will. And that's Ping. I don't know if it's Ping has this idea in my head that it's old school and it's never changed. So I've never grown to Ping. I've never wanted to wear Ping. I've never wanted to use Ping. That's kind of the one. I don't know. That's a different question. But Ping's that brand that is just like, you'll never catch me with anything from them.
That's very similar. My response. My response was Cleveland. Never hit Cleveland stuff. Everyone talks about how great their wedges are, and I just look at their equipment and I'm just like, it just doesn't look sexy. If that makes any sense. Like I want good looking clubs, and it just seems like they always have gold in them, and it just is always just, I'm never a big fan.
Well, we're always of the mindset you got to look good to play good, first off. And then your clubs, they got to look good too. And hey, I might sacrifice, you're the same way. I might sacrifice a little distance, a little feel, maybe some good shots, just so that my bag looks fucking good.
That's, it's, don't get me wrong, some chromed out Mizunos or fucking blades. I mean, they look really good in the bag. I mean, and you just, sometimes you play some stuff that's, it's not the chunky pink fucking G400 or whatever the hell they're playing now. So I agree with you, buddy.
All right, this one comes from Sean. Wait, I already said Sean. Oh, no, this one's Jeremy. Sorry, Jeremy out in Sutter Creek, California. He wants to know, what's the scariest shot for you on the golf course? When you step up to the tee, or you're in the middle of the fairway, or you're on your third shot on a par 5, what's the scariest shot for you?
The new scariest shot for me is out at my local golf course now. It's I'm assuming everyone's familiar with TPC Sawgrass, 17th hole, island green. The players usually have a wedge. It's usually like 130 to 150 yard shot. At my golf course, the signature hole is hole 16. It's a par 3. From the members' tees, we played it anywhere from like 170 to like 190 yards. And it's an island fucking green surrounded by bunkers and fucking water. And it's just the worst goddamn hole in the world. It's the most beautiful hole in the world, but it's all carry. And it's like, you can't fuck it up. And it never fails. The club that you have in your hand is always like it's always in between like a 7 and like a 4-iron. And the wind comes off the fucking water, and it's just a tougher shot in golf, and it's something that it scares me currently right now.
Well, I don't have the privilege to play that type of course and have those type of shots, and that does sound scary. For a guy like me, I'm a fader of the golf ball. Everything's left to right. Anything that's OB or water right, that petrifies me. I tend to change the style of my game. I tend to take different clubs. I do anything I can to avoid it. And at most courses, you can get away with it. Up at Edgewood Tahoe, you can't because it's so tree lined that you've got to hit a ball down the middle. And if it starts to fade, you're screwed, which can get you in trouble because there's some water in OB. But yeah, anything that's got trouble right, I'm petrified. And you're usually going to see me hitting a punch or some type of maybe a hybrid hook or something like that, just to keep it anywhere but right.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's unfortunately the shot that currently terrifies me. It's bad everywhere. It's surrounded by fucking water. And you look at the green, like the green's like 8,000 square feet. Like it's a mansion of a fucking landing spot, and you just it never fails. Like just take me to the fucking drop zone. I'm gonna have an 80-yard pitch shot over water again. It just terrifies me. But another question that comes in from Brandy out in Fiddletown. She wants to know, for a beginner golfer, what's the one thing that you would recommend a new golfer going out and buying? One piece of equipment that they just absolutely need. That maybe is I'm going to add a little to this question, but maybe a little, spend a little extra cash on it.
For a beginner golfer, I think some type of a hybrid. Because here's the thing. You're going to generally have a long ways in on your approach shots. You're not hitting long irons, that's for sure. A hybrid's kind of that utility, that savior that's going to help you. And it's not necessarily that you're going to hit a green, because that's probably not going to happen, but you'll at least get it up around the green to where you can start chipping and putting. Because I've seen people try to hit long irons and they just, fuck, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. It all it is chunks and it goes nowhere. You need the hybrids. Maybe have more than one.
I agree with you. I think you go full hybrid bag. Like it's I was gonna suggest like a chunky wedge, a like super forgiving, not like square face wedge, but I'm saying like a cavity back actual sand wedge that's not your typical blade lob wedge, 60-degree, 56-degree wedge. Something that is way more forgiving and something that you can actually bounce and skip into the ball without having any trouble, without having to fucking chunk one about 19 times. Because even as a halfway good golfer, it still sucks.
Well, if you want to improve your game when you're just starting out, there is no shame in getting one of those Atom sets that's like 9 through freaking 5, all hybrids. There's really not. It's much more forgiving. They bounce off the fairway. You're not going to be taking big ass divots with it, but you're going to shoot better scores, and you're going to kind of figure out your swing more than you would if you just tried to play a traditional set of clubs.
I agree. Probably the last thing you should go out and buy is a set of blades, and you're not Charlie Woods, let's just say. But Jeff, this is for me, it's probably one of the favorite parts of the shows. This is hot or not, buddy.
Hot or not? Nah, bro.
Yeah. So, Jeff, with anticipation of another Hawaii type tournament this week, I wanted to introduce maybe not necessarily a particular person, but I wanted your hot or not on the Polynesian hula dancers. Okay, specifically the ones over maybe a fun luau. Maybe ones that greet you at the airport, maybe at the hotel. Jeff, hula dancers, is it hot or not?
Hey, more the better. I've only been to Hawaii once in my life. There's something about getting off the plane and getting into that airport, and you see them there, right? You see them at the hotel. You see them at dinner. You see them on the golf course. That's part of the culture there, and it's something that kind of attracts you and brings you in. They got their dances. We could never do those type of dances. And usually it means that you're going to get some good food after and some good drinks. Those girls are absolutely hot. They know what they're doing. Give me more hula dancers all day long.
Jeff, these last couple of weeks, you and I have disagreed on a lot of things, but you and I are on the same page here. Hula dancers, in my eyes, should be greeters everywhere in this world. I think if you put a hula dancer at every golf course, every hotel, every entrance to bus station, airport, it just brings happiness. And they just, especially that dance thing they do. I mean, it's just like, we're just having a good time. Like it just brings smiles to my face when I just see him. I mean, I see him on a movie, and it's like, oh my God, like I bought one of those bobbleheads, stick them in my truck, watch them hula. I mean, it's beautiful. It's absolutely incredible.
Anything that's going to brighten your mood immediately after something that sucks, which could be a bad round of golf or a long plane flight, is in my book a positive. And yes, more of it. Maybe down in Mexico, in a couple of months, we'll find a couple hula dancers to make the trip down there for us.
Jeff, I mean, what is the Mexico's version of a hula dancer? Any suggestions?
That's going to be saved for the members only show because I don't think we could say those type of things on this show. I really don't.
So folks, I mean, if this is going to be a shorter YouTube podcast show, and the one thing that Jeff and I have been flirting around with is a members only type show, and some members only content, and it would, I think he'd have to be like sworn in and sworn to secrecy, and none of this shit could get out because we might go real far crazy. But Jeff, I mean, it was a thought. I mean, earlier this year we talked about wanting to put on a major championship, but that just seems like it's not going to happen. Unfortunately, the PGA of America is not. We're not going to go to one of their venues. Augusta National hasn't taken my calls. Torrey Pines has just absolutely not. They're not going to have any events at all, especially with the amount of players that we want to bring. And you mentioned on a podcast later in 2021 that you might want to go, out to a different country, maybe a third world country to include, south of the border, where they serve, some of the finer Mexican food in the world. Mexico. I mean, Jeff, I think we're going to do it, right?
There's no better place than to take the Aloha Press crowd and the Aloha Press followers and the Aloha crew than a place like Mexico. Where else do you get to have the all-inclusive resort, food, drinks, partying, golf for that type of money in that environment? And we're going to go when the weather's good and it's sunshine. We can play golf in shorts and a short sleeve, because, hey, Tahoe's happening. Tahoe happens every year. We're going to go back up there. But October in Tahoe can be chilly, right? We need a summertime event, something that's warm weather, get your tan and have some fun. There's no better place than Mexico.
I agree with you. And I think it's going to motivate people to get out of their comfort zone a little bit. I mean, I don't know what we're going to call it. I think Mexico's I think it's a good venue because, maybe they don't follow certain guidelines that maybe the Hard Rock does when it comes to the CDC guidelines. I think it would fit our style, and especially fit maybe our budget, and maybe allow people to go out and, have a little Aloha Press retreat, maybe a little getaway. Maybe we could do some trust falls, after a few tequila shots. And I think I'll be ingesting a tequila worm, I believe.
Well, that you're doing for sure, that or a scorpion. But it's one of those places that, it's a mini vacation. It's going to be more than just a weekend. It's a mini vacation. You get to hang out. My cat's coming to see me here again. He likes to come on the podcast every once in a while. Likes the smell of cigar smoke and whiskey. But Mexico's real. It's going to happen. 2021. We'll be there.
All right. I love it, buddy. We'll give you guys some more details here in the next couple of weeks as that comes out. And then you guys are going to have to enjoy the members only. I think we're going to pull that off. I don't know when, I don't know how. I got some phone calls in. We're going to make some, I don't know. That's some of the goals that we're going to achieve here in 2021, but it's going to start with the Mexico trip. I'm pretty excited about it. We got a large, a group of travel agents working on it, and we should have some details probably next week.
Absolutely. We'll keep everybody updated. Hey, on another note, Send your videos in. We're giving away $500 cash for a goddamn golf trip. I'd be dying at this if I had it coming from somebody else. And get them in. You got 10 days to go, I think. You know, me and JC are going to pick the winner here after we get all our submissions. But hey, don't be scared. Don't be afraid. It's not like we're going to blast you all over social media. You know, these are public, private videos. You know, but get in. We need more people to buy into this.
I mean, we got Aloha Kate out there, you know, promoting this thing, and it's simple. 30, 60, 90-second video telling us where you want to go, how you want to spend the money. I mean, we have a few entries, but this is $500 cash, and it's not an Aloha Press gift card. It's not fucking hosted or promoted by TaylorMade. This is Christmas bonus money that we're giving out to the listeners and subscribers, and the people that have submitted videos. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, Jeff. You haven't seen them yet, but I have. Dude, I almost cried on a couple of them. Like it's kind of heart wrenching. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough way to judge. I might feel bad.
Well, hey, it's not easy to get in front of the camera. It's not easy to do something like this on your own, or have your significant other film you and say these things to some essentially random guys you don't know, right? But here's the thing. It is your Christmas bonus. This is money that didn't have to be given away. It could have been spent on the Aloha Press to better the brand. But you know what? We're starting 2021 out with a bang. We're going to give it away. So take the time, put the effort in, send your videos in, be goofy, be weird, be R-rated. It's okay. That's what we want to see.
We want something a little crazy. Don't go JT crazy, but close. So with that being said, guys, really appreciate it. Thanks for watching the show, and always liking, subscribing, and hitting the little notification bell and all this other bullshit that people say. Say hi to Jeff's cat. Really appreciate it, buddy. We will catch you guys next Tuesday, wrapping up the Sony Open. So enjoy your weekend, guys, and we will talk to you soon.
Cheers, brother.